So this is my Snow Sport HD replica made out of wood and steel. These tubes are 1" by 2" hollow steel from Princess Auto. You can find it in the steel area. I bought, they're 4 feet long, so I bought 3 of them. Put them side by side, drilled some holes, 1/2" screw holes and bolts, and then cut one in half, so these are 2 feet. This is supposed to be 8 inches from the ground, so I just measured because I'm going to be using only this car. There is some adjustment on this other piece that I bought from Princess Auto as well, so you can actually bring this up and down. This is, I think, called the, shoot, what's in the towing area, and it's just a hitch that has 3 holes in it, and on each side 6 holes, 1/2" holes. So this is all mounted to that with the same 1/2" bolts. Now this here is 3 2x6x8. So they're cut to 6 feet and 9 inches. I guess you could make it longer. I just did it to the spec of the Snow Sport HD plow, which, you know, the smaller one is 7 feet. And then the height is just the same as the Snow Sport HD, which is 1/2 inch tall. 1.5 feet tall. The angles, I just made the middle here. This middle one is pretty much flat, and this one is tilted. The bottom one is tilted all forward, and then this one is a little bit tilted in the negative angle. For the bolts, I just used, I think they're 1/4 by 2.5" bolts and nuts and washers, lock washers, obviously. This is a 3.5" by 3.5" square U bracket, which I got at Home Depot. So that just bolts right in, goes in. Here I just used the steel plate because this whole thing slides up and down. And this is just because I didn't weld anything, I used bolts. This just covers the bolts so that this can make contact and smoothly work its way up and down. Since this is fixed, you want it to move. I put wood, like on the wood and the bolts, it was just getting fixed. These are the brackets I had before I did the steel, and you can see it's sliding up and down, but it would get fixed and get stuck on because the bolt would go in through the wood. Plus these were pretty thick, so now I have more motion with the thinner plate. Thinner, stronger, and this will be smoother. Make contact much easier. So I used just brackets. You can get any brackets, like 90-degree brackets. I just used like a closet frame, and I just cut it into 3" strips, and I mounted it all around. This is actually a different type of bracket, but you can use whatever. This is a part of this is a steel strip that attaches a tire to the front, because this forms like a gasket at the front of the plow when this moves forward like that. This all locks in like that. And this is all now tight against the ground. At the bottom, for the shoes, let me see if I can get some light. Yep. So the bottom, I used the garden edging, the cheap garden edging, and I put it at the bottom and on the sides. Yeah, the bolts are pretty often. I guess you could use 2" bolts, but a 2.5 or more universal to get this this tire through, because this is pretty thick tire. It comes out the other side. And more of these brackets. So you can see that piece there. You can see the metal I bent so that this can be Still slide up and down. Brackets here. See this one, I didn't even use screws. I got lazy, or I ran out at the time and I used the regular screws. I probably should use the bracket, the bolts. They're much thicker. But you know, the top one doesn't get as much force as the bottom. This is going to be the one that gets the most force. That's why it has extra bracket there. And then the backing is regular screws in that case, because you know it's going to be pushing on it anyways. So, oh, and another cool feature would be to add. The original has like the post, so you can see where so you can see it where it is. It has like antennas, and I added handles, which are just some metal with some duct tape wrapped. They work really well. Really good thing to have. And then the other thing that I didn't do yet, but I will, is just cut a groove in here so you can attach this and put it at the top for easy transport in case you're planning somebody else's yard down the road.